Welcome to another segment of Excuse Me, Mind Your Business. Remember that mind your business is about the business of life. You're using your mind, which is one of the most powerful organs in our entire body, to mind our business of everyday life. So that is the key with this. The thing that we were talking about is actually, this is the third part of a three-part segment that was talking about 3 ways affirmation relates to your identity or identity. On segment 1, we talked about you are who you say you are. We talked about the power of the tongue, the power of you saying things and it coming into your life. What you say is what you get. We talked about changing the words that we're saying and moving from a negative to a positive statements and using I am statements, declarative affirmations to change and transform our life. That was really amazing. And now we went into part 2, which you can have what you say you can have. The big thing about that was self-awareness. We talked a lot about identity because you identify with things that most people have. We put an identity on cars, and we put emotions that are tied to money. But remember, money really is not an emotional thing. Money is factual. You either have it or you don't. So money is not related to emotions. We attach emotions to money. However, money is not emotional. However, the big piece with that is you can actually say that you have a thing, you can work toward it, and you can receive it. It's the power, again, of affirmations. The thing that we talked about, the most powerful piece of that was self. Now that's going to link to this part, which is part 3, which is talking about the fact that now you can do what you say you can do. The key with that is we have to be careful what we say. In all 3 segments, you have to be careful what you say, because what you say becomes so powerful that that's what you become. That's what you get. That's what you receive. So what sometimes happens in all aspects of our lives, have you ever asked for a job and you wanted this amazing job and you thought it was exactly what you wanted, and then you got it and you said, what in the world? Or you wanted this amazing relationship with this person and it turns out they weren't what you anticipated. That's the key. The key is the more I know me, the more I know who I am, and I'm self-aware, the more I can change and transform my life, the better person I become in every aspect of my life. That's what the I am statements help us with. So with the self-fulfilling prophecy, that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, we're going to talk about the cycle of that and what can happen, the power of shifting what we say and how we speak about our lives and how other people respond to what we're saying and what we do. Because self-fulfilling prophecy is simply, I think in my head, or what I expect comes to pass. Some people have went into a job or went into an interview, and before they walked in the interview, everything they said is they're not going to get it. Okay? And they don't get it. Some people have also walked into a job and been very confident. I know I've done it. Walked into a job, I thought the job was mine. I'm not kidding. I thought it was mine. And then I walked in and it didn't happen. Now when I look back at it, I'm very thankful it didn't happen because it would have shut down some other things in my life. However, at the time, that's not the way I felt. So even though we may speak a thing, and I just want to be totally upfront about this, even though you may speak a thing, you may believe a thing, does not make it happen because we can't control other people. However, when you don't think it's going to happen, when you do walk in negative, it's for sure normally not going to happen because we fulfill that. We almost shift the atmosphere to a place that we are not confident or whatever, and we walk in and we just look like we shouldn't have the job, or we shouldn't be part of the team. So you want to do the self-fulfilling from a positive perspective. You want to look at what you're thinking from a positive perspective, not a negative, because at least that will get you further ahead. Maybe not on that job, maybe not on that relationship, but on one that really will cause you to grow and get you to become even more of the person, to have a better relationship, to have a better position, to fulfill your destiny and your purpose in your life. Okay, so we're going to talk about the chart. Okay, so now on this chart that talks about the self-fulfilling prophecy, I actually received it or got it from psychologytoday.com, and it was one of the most powerful things that I thought that could bring all of this together. One of the things regarding this is this. On the self-fulfilling prophecy, let's start our actions. Okay? Our actions toward others are the cause and impact to what they believe about us. Others' beliefs about us is connected to our actions. Okay? And then the cause, it causes others' actions toward us. So what they believe about us, what their belief impacts their actions, and then they react toward us. Now, then their actions can and normally does impact our beliefs about ourselves. So can you see the cycle? Impact, cause, reinforce, influence. Because then our then beliefs, whatever our beliefs are about ourselves, influence our actions, and we end up on this vicious cycle. Okay? So let's use a couple examples. Our beliefs, when we walk in, we say that we're not worthy. If we walk in with that negative attitude, or we say that let's do a better one. Let's say that a person believes that they're broke. So then they believe that they're broke. So then their actions ensure that they're broke, because then they spend every dime that comes in. And then when they don't spend it, something else happens, and that ends up taking their excess, and then which impacts others' beliefs about them, because other people will look at you and say, "Oh, don't be around them. They're always broke." Your belief impacts your actions, which impacts other people's belief system about you, which impacts their actions. See the vicious cycle? So let's break the cycle based on the last 3 segments, including this one, the introduction, plus the other 2 segments, and this one. Let's shift. Use the I am statements. Start shifting the way that you believe, you think about yourself, because remember, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So you change here, because we have control over ourselves. I don't have control over what happened in your past or what happened in my past. I got it. But life is about 10% of action, things that impact things that have happened to us, and 90% of what we, or how we manage that, or how we handle or respond to that action. So when somebody presses my button, I get a chance to determine how I'm going to react to it. If somebody says something negative to me, I get a chance to respond how I'm going to react to it. And that is based on who I believe I am. So when you believe that you are better than that, you won't react to people's crazy decisions and all of that stuff. You change the way you think about yourself. So now our beliefs shift. We start changing what we say about ourselves, and that becomes the loudest voice in our life. What you think about you, what you say about you, what you believe about you is the loudest voice in your life. I don't care what has happened in the past. I don't care what you've been through. Everybody, there's somebody that's been through it. You know, somebody lost a friend. How many people lost a friend? Somebody lost a relationship. How many people have lost a relationship, been divorced, and I'm not making small of those things. What I'm saying is, how are you responding to that? How are you letting it wipe out the rest of your life, or are you taking control and starting to speak new life and changing everything about your cycle? So now you shift, you start saying other things about yourself. Remember, it's over time. You start changing the way you think about yourself. You start changing what you're saying about yourself, and then that influences your actions. Now your actions are different. You're not doing the same things you were doing before. You're responding different. You're managing your money different. You're managing your interviews different. You're going out and you're doing research about the company. You're walking in and you have done your research. You feel more confident about what's going on. So therefore, you go out and you look at things differently. So now you go to your actions have changed. So now that's going to impact what other people think about you. It's going to impact what other people are saying about you. Now, I don't want to misguide you. The way people think about you is not going to happen and change like that. When you start changing, there are going to always be pundits. But there's going to be pundits whether you're successful, whether you are unsuccessful. There are going to always be out people saying stuff. You have to get delivered to people. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, life, was helping me get delivered of what other people think about me. Because it's not what they think that matters. It's what I think about me that impacts my life at the highest level and impacts my potential, my future, my destiny, my purpose. More than anything else is what I think about me. So it's not that you become Superwoman or Superman and you don't get, let me say, sometimes our emotions may get impacted, but we have to go and check ourselves. So you have to get delivered to people. But in the meantime, you're going to have some people that are always going to say something bad about you. Then you're going to have the people that say, dang, this person is changing. What's going on? So then they're going to be confused for a minute. And then they say, oh my gosh, what happened? What's the difference? So what others believe, remember, you made the change. Your actions change. Now, some people's beliefs are going to change. Not everybody, but some people. And some people are going to take longer than others. Then it's going to cause others' actions to change toward you. And then after their action changes toward you, you'll see there's a reinforcement of what you believe about yourself. Okay? I'm going to give you another example. A person started off as a child and they were not the smartest person in the classroom or whatever. So some people would have said, that they're dumb. Then they found out later it wasn't that they were dumb. They found out that, I can learn. I am successful in business. I have found my niche in life. I am statements, found who they were, impacted their life. So then their beliefs changed about who they said they were. So then their actions changed because they became more successful. They ended up with building wealth, or their structure, their life changed, and it impacted what people were saying. It impacted what others' beliefs about them were. And then it caused others' people's actions toward them to change, which then reinforced their belief about themselves. So the first person that has to believe it is you. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Remember that what you think, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, is the truth. So I'm decreeing and declaring that you will believe you can. Then your expectations and your beliefs about yourself will impact the self-fulfilling prophecy, what really happens in your life. Then when you shift here, your beliefs, everything in this cycle will shift. It takes time, it takes energy, it is a process, but it will happen. Then the last thing is you conform or you reform. You either conform to what people think about you, or you reform or reset what they think about you over time. This is Johnnie, and thank you for spending time with me as we do the self-fulfilling prophecy as the last segment of you can do what you say you can do. You have the power to do that. Now go out and be all you can be. Do all you can do. Be successful at your level. Don't allow anyone to limit you. And by all means, don't limit yourself. This is Johnnie with another segment of Mind Your Business.